Barry, Steve, thank you very much. Ready to get things underway with our first bout of the evening, and it is Danny Jacobs taking on Josh Luteran in a middleweight bout. We're scheduled for 8 rounds. Now, Danny Jacobs figured to be fighting big fights at this point in his career. He's 22-1. He's only 25 years old. But just being able to be a part of this event in his hometown tonight is actually a near miracle. Jacobs returns to the ring after, and it may sound trite, but after easily the most frightening fight of his life.
In the beginning of my career, I was on cloud 9. That's why I would call myself the golden child, because I felt like I was golden. I had Oscar behind me, I had Al Heyman behind me, and boy did I shine.
He had everything, the speed, the charisma, the punching power. He was on the verge.
We got back from a USO tour. We went to Iraq to see the troops. And immediately after we got back home, I remember feeling weakness in my legs. It was kind of like pins and needles. I remember having to actually walk with a cane. That's how severe it was.
And then it got worse. It went from the cane to the walker to this to that. Danny being a man, it's no big deal. I don't want to go, I don't want to go. Between me and his godmother, you're going to the hospital.
We first went to the ER and they told me that I just had a pinched nerve, and they gave me some prescription pills and said that it would be okay over time. Then the cane turned into crutches, and crutches eventually turned into a wheelchair. I was completely paralyzed.
He opens the door and I'm like, oh my God. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I'm like, Danny, no. We have to get you to a neurologist now.
Did a series of tests. We had this handball-like mass tumor that was growing around my spine. We had to get immediate surgery.
I remember right after the surgery, Dr. Hardo, he let me know the mass grew like that. He used a lot of gestures with his hands like that, fast. You're lucky that he caught it he described it to be the skin of his teeth, or else that's what he did. I said, what are you trying to say? You would have died? He's like, yeah.
I mean, that there just sent a chill through my body, because I have a 3-year-old son, and anyone who has kids know the love that they have for their children. And that's all I can think about, was just, what if my son has to grow up without a father? I remember getting 25 counts of radiation, and every time it would shift my attitude, it would make me nauseous, and feeling just drained of life. Eventually, they told me that I would never be able to box again. I just remember just feeling lost. I remember closing my eyes and just, it was so horrible.
And he said, Miss Perry, you think I'm gonna be able to box again? Just worry about getting better right now. You'll box again, don't worry.
I got a tattoo of a ribbon and a bird. The bird represents my grandmother who passed away, and the ribbon represents cancer survivors, so gotta represent. It's such an amazing feeling to be a survivor. I put it right here, right above my heart, because I wear this with pride. And the scar that I have on my back as well, I wear with pride. This will forever be on me, and it's will forever represent survivor.
He was completely paralyzed. He was not on the ropes. He was not knocked down. He was knocked out. To not give up is incredible.
To see him now, strong as ever, in the best shape ever, it's just like, I applaud him. I tip my hat off to him. My fighter, nobody got nothing on my fighter. Nobody.
God willing, if I get this victory, I probably might shed a tear or two inside that ring, because of everything that I've went through. That night is gonna be historic. It'll be a moment that I remember for the rest of my life.
And there he is, Danny Jacobs, fortunate to be alive, fortunate to be able to walk, and now ready believe it or not, to fight. We'll be watching very closely to see how far he has come back physically, to see if he can compete at the world-class level again. But, hey, it's a victory either way. First bout of the night. We're ready to go ringside to Barry Tompkins and Steve Farhood. Guys.
Thanks very much, Brian, and what a story this story is of this young man. And he told us yesterday he really didn't know how he was going to feel making this ring walk. Looks like he feels pretty good, pretty confident.
Exactly right. The first fight for Danny Jacobs is controlling his emotions. And the second fight is the actual fight, which, let's not forget, he's in a prize fight tonight. He does not win automatically because he stepped through the ropes.
Well, and that's true, even though, as Brian Kenny mentioned, he's already won the biggest battle of his life. He fights a guy who's only had one loss. He's 13-1 with 9 knockouts along the way. I suppose there's some question as to the caliber of competition that Josh Luteran has had, but when we talk to him, this is a very confident guy as well.
Very much so. Interesting guy. He's been an actor in Hollywood more than he's been a fighter. His nickname, the Existential Outlaw.
I like it.
And the record of 13-1, a little bit flattering.
He says he got the nickname from Kerouac and Sartre. You know those guys, right? I think they own a delicatessen here in Brooklyn. Here are the numbers.
Well, Danny Jacobs, interesting that he chose to come in at 161 after 19 months off. You might have thought he'd come in a little heavier, but clearly he's been training for a long time for this fight. And the fact that he's only a pound over the middleweight limit is very impressive to me.
Let's talk about the rules before we get started.
And the rules here are the unified rules. No 3 knockdown, no standing. A ref or doctor can stop the fight, and I think we're ready to go.
All right, with that, we are ready to go to our first fight of the evening. Danny Jacobs and Josh Luteran. And for the introductions, we go to the center of the ring and Jimmy Lennon Jr. Jimmy?
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to you and welcome to Barclays Center here in Brooklyn, New York for Extreme and a big night of action brought to you by Golden Boy Promotions, and we are sponsored by Corona Extra, La Cerveza Más Fina, DeWalt Tools and their new 20-volt max brushless technology. They are guaranteed tough, and AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. Presenting our judges scoring this bout from ringside, all from the state of New York, John McKay, Carlos Ortiz, and Robin Taylor. Introducing our third man of the ring, the referee in charge of this bout, Eddie Cotton. All right, fans, here we go. 8 rounds of boxing scheduled in a middleweight special attraction. Introducing to you first on my left, he is fighting out of the red corner, wearing black trunks, fighting out of Hollywood, California by way of Blue Springs, Missouri. He weighed in at 161 3/4 pounds with a record of 13 wins and 1 loss. He has 9 wins coming by way of knockout. They call him the Existential Outlaw. Introducing Josh Luteran. And his opponent across the ring on my right, fighting out of the blue corner, this 8th round attraction, wearing black trunks with white trim, fighting out of and representing Brooklyn, New York. He weighed in at 161 1/4 pounds with a record of 22 wins, 1 loss. He has 19 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the former world title challenger, tonight making his heroic return to the ring, introducing the Golden Child, Daniel Jacobs. Once again, a referee in charge. Now to give instructions, Eddie Cotton.
Let's go. All right, boxers, you've already received my instructions. Obey my commands and protect yourself at all times. All right, let's touch gloves. Okay.
And with that, we are ready to go with our first fight of the evening. And Danny Jacobs told us yesterday, you asked him, have you been looking forward to this fight? What have you been doing? He said, every time I walk by a mirror, I shadow box. That's how anxious I am to get in the ring.
I don't think for all the years and all the fights we've done, Barry, I don't think I've ever done a fight quite like this with the backstory.
Now, Josh Luteran, on the other hand, still feels this is a fight. He obviously feels very proud, as we all do, of Danny Jacobs getting back, but now it's his business to beat him. He says he wants to crowd him, get on top of him, and stay on top of him.
Yeah, Luteran is aggressive by nature. Of course, that's not surprising that nice left hook. Danny Jacobs would want an aggressive fighter because Danny can't be sure his legs are going to be 100%. That's been the last thing to come around since his cancer treatment.
And he said he really wouldn't know until he got into the ring. He said you can't always tell in the gym. He was told, he said he remembered laying in a hospital bed on May 18th of last year, being told you will never box again. He did believe it then, and here he is. Good right hand right there.
Danny Jacobs was at one point considered about as good a prospect as it was in all of America because of his hand speed, because of his boxing ability. He can punch to the head and the body, and he's got a great amateur.
And then hurt him with the left hand, dropped him. And it's over just like that. A triumphant return for Danny Jacobs. Drawn up much better than that. They will still tend to Josh Luteran. He was moving, however, but they'll keep him down as a precaution. Right hand started it, the left hand finished it.
And it's safe to say Danny Jacobs hasn't lost his hand speed because that combination came in a hurry.
It's funny, I was just about to say how heavy-handed he was when he showed you.
And you see Luteran's eyes are glassy. I mentioned before he's been a Hollywood actor. He certainly came here cast in a certain way. And Danny Jacobs concerned with the condition of his opponent.
Yeah. Let's take another look at this, Steve.
Well, Danny Jacobs set everything up. He pounded to the body just before. There's a right hand that comes just over the guard, and then a right uppercut as the final punch. And the reason Luteran's eyes look like they do, his head hit the canvas quite heavily. Watch the three-punch combination, and there's the third punch, that right uppercut. And Luteran out before he hits the canvas. Beautiful combination. You might think that Danny Jacobs would tend to load up, maybe look for one shot against an overmatched opponent, but he didn't. He punched in combination. That's a chilling result.
Yeah, absolutely. Take one more look in super slow motion.
Well, Danny Jacobs adjusted the plane of his punches because Luteran came in ducking at the waist, and Jacobs just caught him perfectly.
113.
And there really wasn't any need for a count.
17 months in coming, and what a sweet taste that leaves for him.
Danny Jacobs is a fighter again, in a literal sense, after overcoming his bout with cancer. It's really a very emotional story, and I'll give him credit. He's handling the emotional part of this extremely well.
Yeah, he really is right now, and we're going to get opportunity to speak with him, but he said he set a goal for himself after the doctors told him back in May of last year that he would never fight again. He said, I'm going to win a world championship despite what the doctors said. So we take it to the center of the ring once more. Jimmy Lennon Jr. will make it official. Jimmy.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the time of 1 minute 13 seconds in round number 1. He is the winner by way of technical knockout, the Golden Child, Daniel Jacobs.
Thank you, sir.
So a long time in coming, but boy, when it came quickly, swiftly, and with intent. We take it to the center of the ring right now. Jim Gray is with the winner. Jim?
All right, Barry, thank you very much. Danny, this moment after where you were just 17 months ago and you were told you're never going to fight again, what does this mean to you now to have accomplished this?
Well, first of all, I have to give all glory to God.
but this moment to me means the world. You know, to be able to take control of your destiny is priceless, and I did that tonight. They told me I could never box. They told me I wouldn't walk proper, but guess what I did? I proved everyone wrong, and I came in here and I gave a great show. So Brooklyn is in effect tonight.
How did you keep this in your mind when the goal at that time was just to survive and to live and hopefully get back on your feet?
Well, I knew that one day I would be back here. I knew one day I would be on this stage, be on this platform, because it was my dream. No one can take that away from me. And I went out here and I did the best that I can do. I gave the fans a great show, and I feel I'm on cloud nine right now. No moment is greater than this moment right now.
So it does make it sweeter because of everything you've had to go through?
Absolutely. This moment is super sweet, and I'm glad I gave these Brooklyn fans a great show.
Let's take a look at the monitor right over there to your left. Tell us what happened right here when you caught Josh.
Well, I remember catching him with a left hook and then the right hand. It all happened so fast. I guess I was throwing a great combination and caught him on the temple, and he went down. I really feel bad for the guy. I hope he's okay. I'm going to pray for him, but, you know, I had to do a good job. I had to come in there and make a statement, and that's what I did.
When he got up, did he tell you he was okay?
Yeah, he told me he was okay. I told him I'll pray for him, and his birthday is a couple days, so I told him happy birthday.
So you prepare for a much longer fight, and then this happens. Is there some form of, maybe not frustration, but is there still a little bit of anxiety because you'd like to see just a little bit more how you do?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there was any bit of rust. I think I waited a little bit too much, but when I did let my hands go, you see what happened. So I just hope that he's okay, and I hope that I get the fans a great show.
You sure did. Danny, congratulations. It's been great to watch you fight. Great comeback.
I'm back.